Do you know who are extremely sexy and irresistible? Alpha females, said no man ever.
You're missing my point. You're literally taking it literally instead of reading in between the lines. If you're an alpha and you are comfortable within yourself in being confident, why does it matter if you're also with an alpha?
Because those...
Or someone who's also strong-minded, contains leader qualities. I'm not done. Contains leader qualities. Is there something funny?
Yeah.
What's funny? I want to hear it. What's funny? I just feel like you haven't had a guest like this before, and you're just astonished. I don't know.
I'm not worried, concerned about you.
I never said you were.
You
Is
made
that
me
what I
laugh.
said?
Are you mad?
No, is that what I said though? You just put words in my mouth.
I just made a little smirk, and then you mad.
I just asked you.
Listen, and talking alpha woman. What are you, Wonder Woman?
Don't put words in my mouth. I never said I'm an alpha woman.
The reason why they're laughing is because she is the prime example of what men don't want, and everyone in the room knows it apart from her. She's showing that she's difficult and hard to deal with, and listen, we can't deny she's fit, she's good looking, she's slim, but that energy is just so unattractive. That masculine energy. There can't be two leaders in the household. A man shouldn't have to be at his job all day, grinding and slaving away, and then come home to have a bigger battle on his hands and deal with you because the dishes weren't done. The more difficult you make your man's life, the harder it's going to be for you to keep a man in a relationship. I know I've got a large American audience, but here in the UK, we use a term called cranks. If a woman is a crank, it means she's difficult, she's moaning, she's whinging all the time, she's always demanding and asking questions. The last thing you want to be as a woman is a crank, and unfortunately for this girl who's pretty decent looking, she's a crank.
How can you say women are privileged because they get these opportunities, but then judge them for acting on that privilege?
Well, privilege is invisible to those that have it, and no one respects anything that is easy. So if a girl decides to monetize her, put herself in a certain light, well, there comes with consequences typically. And when you objectify yourself as a woman, men in return objectify you. That's how the world works.
But then when it is easy for a man to sleep with many women, if he is,
it isn't easy. That's the difference.
Man, but let's say he's Justin Bieber and he sleeps with many women, that's easy for him. Then
Really?
why not devalue him
Hold on.
that?
Well, let's go back though. What did Justin Bieber have to do to become Justin Bieber?
Exactly. It wasn't easy. Being raised in Canada, struggle.
But
auditions.
he didn't have to utilize game or charisma.
But he had to become a Grammy Award-winning, nationally known singer that is toward the world international superstar.
The process doesn't matter. The point is
The
right
process
now.
absolutely matters. It does matter.
You're gonna have
If you want to sleep with loads of women, you need to be a high-value man. In order to be a high-value man, you have to build yourself up in many different areas. She used the example of Justin Bieber. Why doesn't he get any pushback because he sleeps with loads of girls? Because we understand as a man, it's hard to do that. The man who gets loads of girls is a pimp. A girl who gets loads of lads is a hoe. And I agree, it is a double standard, but you're never going to get rid of that because it's built within our DNA. Female promiscuity will always be frowned upon. No matter how much social media and magazines and feminists try and change that narrative, it's never going away.
I prefer my men manly.
Am I not manly?
Well, you have to ask.
Yeah, and I prefer my women fit, in shape, friendly, soft, sweet and feminine.
Nice somebody talk like this.
And I know it's just acting, shut up.
This woman says, I'm an alpha female. I don't look for a man to provide for me financially, but I'm not going to deal with a man that can't provide. I don't mind being submissive, but I'll never let the blind lead. Also, now women have this concept of an alpha female going on, and normally I would keep it brutally honest and say there is no such fucking thing. But that would be closed-minded of me, so I'm going to go along. The alpha female. It's an acronym. The A stands for attention seeking. Women who want you to know that they can adult on their own. They want acknowledgement for being able to pay their own bills and live independently. The L stands for lonely, because that's what most of these women are. Men don't want to be with masculine-minded women with masculine traits and masculine values. The P stands for pretentious. Women who pedalize themselves and pat themselves on the back for simply knowing how to wash their own ass. The H stands for hedonistic, which is what many of these women are as they engage in pleasure-seeking behaviors to fill the void and cope with the fact that they aren't desirable long-term to men. And the final A stands for another one, which is what you should get if you find yourself dealing with a woman who claims to be an alpha female.
You can't just be submissive when it suits you in the same way that I can't be masculine when it suits me. You're either feminine and submissive or masculine and dominant all of the time, or you're not. It's not a buffet of characteristics and traits that you can just select when you want and pick your favorites when it suits you.
Do you think you're masculine?
Very well put.
I think that I'm an aggressive alpha female, but I'm very feminine when it counts, and that means within my relationship. Like,
would you date a man who's feminine presenting in the workplace, but then in bed he's dominant? So if I was dating you and I'm always feminine and I'm wearing high heels and I'm outside in public being girly and stuff like that, and then I come home to you and then I'm masculine, would you still respect me?
No, but that's
As a woman, if you describe yourself as aggressive, dominant, and assertive, that's an instant no-no. Really, that means you're only good for one thing, because men aren't going to want to have to live with that. Like, do you want to have to be doing this to your woman every single night?
All right, come here. Come sit back down. I'm not going to ask you again to sit back down or tell you again to sit back down. Period.
It's no point.
Don't get up.
Like,
I'm talking to you like grown folks.
Okay.
At least I'm letting you know what's...
Someone said in the comments, acting like a child apparently is an alpha female. Someone else said, their relationship is going to end with lots of police involvement. And if any of you lads have dealt with an alpha female out there, you will understand it never goes down like this. It's usually a crazy battle back and forth. They don't want to back down, you don't want to back down, and it can end up bad. You can end up with domestic violence. If you try and tell one of these women, sit down and listen to me, they're just going to come at you with 100 times the energy and go crazy. If only it was this simple. And to my small female audience out there, listen, I appreciate you. I'm just trying to give you a little bit of game right now. But if you identify as one of these alpha female types, then the chances of you being alone and childless when you're older skyrocket, and you'd end up like this one.
I'm 40 years old, and I feel like dating is 8 zillion times worse than like high school or like my 20s. And let me tell you something, dating in my 20s was a disaster. It was horrible. Men were awful. Boys were awful. And this is so much worse. It is so much worse. What happened to you guys between, 18 and 40? Like, I mean, I don't understand.
Nothing's actually happened to men. Men have always been the same. We've always been simple creatures. We just want the 3 S's. That's a sandwich, sex, and silence. It's a pretty simple formula. It's women who have changed, and it's made the playing field completely complicated. Now men are more confused than ever in terms of what women want, because women don't know what they want. It used to be simple. You meet someone, you go on a few dates, you like each other, you get married, have kids, and then grow old together. I guarantee that this girl at some point has had a decent relationship in the past. She said she hasn't, and dating in her 20s was disastrous, but I guarantee there was 1 or 2 men there who were really good fits for her, but she thought that she could do better, because that's how it usually plays out. I'm a firm believer that all these single old women had that one man in the past who was perfect for them, but they let them go because they tried to trade up, or they didn't try and work through the problems, because every relationship's got problems. If dating in your 20s was a disaster, when that is your physical prime as a woman, that's your opportunity to lock a man down right there, then you're pretty much screwed in your 40s and 50s. At the end of the day, all this is stupid. Lads, we know what the lesson is here. We just stay away from these alpha female types. They're not worth the stress, no matter how fit they are. You can give me the fittest model in the world with the best, most tight toned body with curves, but if she is a crank, she belongs to the streets. I would happily take a soft, feminine, sweet 7 out of 10 girl who's my biggest supporter and who makes my life easier than a 10 out of 10 who's extremely difficult and always demanding with stupidly high standards and always creating drama for me. So to any women watching, always try and remember this. Men want peace and quiet. They want tranquility and food and sex. It's simple. It only takes 3 things to keep us in a long-term relationship. Just shut up and make me a sandwich. Okay, gents, what do you think about these clips in today's video? It seems like since doing these videos, you guys really enjoy it. If you want more fitness, training, nutrition content, then go and check out my YouTube shorts. I upload daily videos around training and nutrition. Just because I've been sick lately, I haven't had the ability to get into the gym and film content. But you guys seem that you're loving this type of content anyway. So let's keep this ship sailing and we'll keep growing the channel. Appreciate you all. Drop me a like on this video and I'll catch you all tomorrow.